Call me Messiah. One day I'm the Musave. Come prophet Moses. Yet to free my people.
That's right, Gazlam with this one titled Moses. Good morning, welcome to the Morning Mix on Informanté Radio, 5 minutes past 8. Yes, we are going live a bit earlier on this morning. Good morning, Tuba. Yes, how are you?
You're catching up. How are you?
I'm good. Day number 10 of the initial 21-day lockdown.
Who's counting?
I'm counting.
No.
And I'm not going to stop counting.
Count. I don't even know night and day anymore. I've come to realize.
I know. I'm starting to keep track now because I can't wait to get to 21. Actually, more than anything, I'm anxious to see what will happen when we get to day 21.
I know.
Yeah.
Can we imagine a world where we just all come back anyway?
It's wishful thinking if you ask me, but yeah, we can dream, I guess. So how have you been keeping sane? How have you been keeping busy, locked up in your house?
For me, it's not an issue of sanity. It's being locked up in my house is the easiest thing for me.
Really?
Yeah. I used to do it anyway.
So you have a lot of nice things in your house.
No, I just made it comfortable for myself. There's always something. If my studio is set up in my house, so if I'm feeling creative, I can play around with the studio. I've got subjects which are my kids, so we can play around with concepts with them. I also draw, so days when I'm not really feeling up to it, I take out my paint brushes and paint. I'm lucky enough to have a yard. So that, you know, like I
stroll around in.
Yeah, and a few days ago I did some gardening. That was very therapeutic. Otherwise, it's Netflix and chill. But I'm just saying this, or read a book. I had school as well, so I had assignments. For me, it just feels like
I'm done with the books in my house, and I don't really want to borrow a book from anybody because
I've got plenty to give you if you want.
Your books might bring coronavirus to my house. I'll stick with the ones that I have. But it is kind of crazy though. You sort of run out of things to do at some point, and you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. Especially because we're so used to, keeping busy during the day mostly.
But I mean, is that really a bad thing? I mean.
Look, a holiday is fine for the first, let's say, week and a half. And then afterwards you start thinking, okay, now I really don't know how to keep myself busy anymore.
Yeah, what I'm saying is psychology say boredom triggers a lot of creative thoughts.
Yeah.
So you need to be sort of bored to kind of be
to get into
motivated
your
or let me say just that creative process to begin. So I don't see boredom as necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I wish more Namibians were bored.
Yeah, but we all sort of process things differently. Like they say, idle hands is the devil's playground. Some people, if you're sitting there with nothing to do, normally they would be getting up to no good.
Yes, but now with the lockdown, you're restricted in your output anyway, right? It's not like you can get some crazy idea and go and execute it.
Also, crazy output on the internet, that could also be detrimental.
I did realize little people on social media are a little bit more angry. I will realize. I think the boredom, even just the personal attacks on each other, it's gotten a bit, let's just say we've seen a steep or a climb in social media harassment, if I can call it that, and it must be the boredom.
Yeah, social media harassment. I say it's one of those. It's something to do when there's nothing to do. Let's go on social media and go piss off a couple of people. The one thing that really did irk me this weekend, there was like a party going on in my complex. the ignorance of people. I
If you
honestly.
didn't call me, I would have called 911. Story, 10,111.
You know what? I even consider just dialing Fabian directly and having him, talk to his department or send units or whatever
Yeah.
it is that the police do. But people who live in glass houses should not throw stones.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not even about snitching. I just think it's like it's everybody's responsibility. And
It is, yes.
yeah.
And like at some point I even considered, just walking up and trying to talk to the guys. But then I realized, like, sober me trying to reason with a bunch of drunk people is not going to end well.
And
So
create another situation.
yeah, it's just going to create another situation. It's like I just did what I do. I stay in my house. I keep my kids in the house. And yeah. It's just irresponsible, and they were mentioning numbers of people who had gotten arrested so far since the lockdown.
Yes, I think 90. No, they were not arrested. They were fined.
Yeah.
I think 98. Sorry.
Some for gathering in large groups, some for selling alcohol.
Yeah, some for selling alcohol. Yeah, around 98, if my memory serves. I checked the story yesterday. I just can't remember on the exact figure, but it should be around. It's in the 90s for sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's where we are. Definitely more people. I mean, it's become like white gold alcohol, right?
Yeah.
It's almost embarrassing, if I will, our dependency on it, because I see people almost with shivers and shakes going on social media like, yo,
I need a fix.
Does anybody
basically.
know where I can get this? It's like, it's day 10. You can't stay, like 10 days is a hassle to stay alcohol free. I mean, we really have to start looking at ourselves.
Yeah,
And,
like, how do you normally get through the month and stuff?
yeah.
Like,
And
I don't get-
especially after weekends, we see this because there seems to be a dependency on alcohol, especially during the weekend. And some people don't know usually how to get past the weekend without some alcohol intake. And now it's like they're losing their minds because it's out of character, it's out of like behavior pattern and stuff.
and now because you're sitting at home the whole day, every day.
Makes it worse.
Yes, it makes it worse. So, you can't stay drunk for the whole 21 days. I mean, there has to be a better solution than
Don't
just...
challenge them.
I mean, I'm sure they can. And the one thing that I think everybody seems to be forgetting also is that even though we are at home, we are still all on duty. Yes, unless you were put on some unpaid leave like certain companies, because the whole rules of the lockdown was like, if your company really does need you to perform a task, you should be available. That's why they were advising people, don't drive out of town, don't be Chikanoki, you can't be
that's our
sitting and
company. But there are certain services that you can't work. For example, let's say hospitality industry.
Yes.
If you're sent home, it's still paid leave, or it should be.
Yes.
But you can't perform a function. You, for example, it's a service that you're providing people. You're not going to be able to provide it from home. Think about your waitresses, your chefs, your receptionists.
Let me give you a scenario, right? You work in the hospitality industry. Now, somebody, let's say, faxed a booking for September that needs to be replied to. And Maria, you need to come into the office because you need to come pick this thing up quickly, maybe scan it and email it to whoever, whatever the situation may be. I'm just a random scenario. And you are sitting at home, wasted.
Yes, but I'm saying, I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that's a person that has access and should be doing that.
Yes.
I'm talking about, what about there are countless and thousands of other people that are literally just sitting at home waiting because their job responsibilities does not allow them to work during this time at all.
Their services are not considered essential.
Yes, it's not essential, and there's really nothing they can do. Like I said, your waitresses, your chefs, your whatever.
No, but I did remember even during the initial announcement that government did say that, you are not on holiday.
Yes, but you see, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm talking about certain services. It's not a blanket statement I'm making for everybody. Obviously, if you're in an industry where you can work from home, that's what people are being encouraged to do. We see it even at this company, where a lot of us are working from home, myself included. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about quite literally services where you cannot work from home, and there's nothing you can do. So all you have to do is like sit back and wait it out. And I'm not saying then take alcohol, but I'm saying there are those people.
Wait it out.
But yeah, let's look at our alcohol intake. Really.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
guys, it's really. I mean, also if you bought enough stock for you, right, and you want to be sitting in your house, getting wasted every day for the next 21 days, that's your prerogative. But then if you are having other people coming over, then you're breaking the rules.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that. Like, what makes you think the rest of us don't also want to party or don't also want to go visit? There's nothing special about you. We're all in the same boat together. We can party all we want once we've gotten rid of the coronavirus, or once we've gotten the disease under control. Yeah. But right now it is time for us to all be responsible. And actually, next time I'm going to call the cops.
Thank you.
Yes.
You've been warned.
Next time I am going to call the cops. And okay, it's fine. Let me just leave that one alone because I was about to say, now I'll tell you. It's fine. Before we get into trouble. All right, let's say good morning to some of the guys who are already tuning in to our live stream. Matthias Beasley, Matthias Mkshon. your name and surname, I'm missing a couple of vowels. Anyway, saying selfie away. Ralph Lomarenga also joining the show this morning. Christofina Silas, what is the frequency here in Oshakati Meria? The Oshakati frequency is 105.6. 105.6. That's the frequency up north. Good morning, Dr. Quentin van Rijn also joining the show. VP, who's the vice president? That's Yakfi Siki, just saying BP. I don't know what that means. Maria, is that maybe some...
VP?
Yeah. Is that like Twitter talk?
I don't know what that means.
Neither do I. Bom Dia crew from Kanjeho Zedman. Toby Nekwaya, morning partners. Good morning crew from David Balomboleni as well. Lioness Garises or Girises. I don't know, man. Don't touch Facebook, all right? I repeat. Don't switch off Facebook. It's all entertainment that's left.
Yep.
For so many people, that is actually true. Ricky Klassen also on board this morning. Epson Hoybep. Morning, comrades. If schools open, what happens to the lockdown process? Or do we get back to business as usual within the country only? This is actually some... first, Maria, maybe just give us an update on what it was that the ministry...
All right, so we are currently on 13 cases, 13 positive cases, but 13 active.
13 active, yeah.
13 active, that means 3 recoveries.
16 positive, 13 active.
Yeah, so far we've had a total 16.
Yeah.
But currently we only have 13 active cases that we know of.
Yeah.
And this involve, one is a teacher. Both are people that came into contact with a South African that was infected. One is a teacher, and the other one, I can't remember, but it's, I think, a man in his 40s. They'd all reported themselves to the Robert Mugabe clinic that we know is now being used as a center or a treatment center. Yeah, that's where we are. And then obviously prior to that, I think over the weekend we had, I think that was already Friday, where we had the husband and son. I think that was Thursday.
Yes, that was last week already.
Yeah, that was last week. So yeah, 13 active cases, over 300 tested so far, which, yes, it's of course it's a concerning number. It's too low.
Yeah.
But that's where we are. That's where we are.
If we got 13 from 300... 3,000 would be about 130.
Well, yeah,
so
I mean,
if we work with those margins, then
yeah. I think, because I can't do anything about the testing numbers.
Yeah.
I think even health minister or ministry know their shortfall. So, like, there's nothing I can say about that. But for me, I think the only thing that reassures me right now is that we do have recoveries, and that we don't have deaths. That kind of makes it a little better for me. Yeah. Even if the numbers are climbing.
I was sort of what gave me a bit of reassurance was Dr. Irap, I think acting CEO of NIP.
Is he acting or is the CEO?
I think I heard them say acting, but in any case, he was talking about basically the capacity of NIP. And the fact that we do have the machines. Actually, we do have the machines to start testing even at regional levels. It's just, what do they call it? The reagent or whatever it is that we, of course, need to acquire. But these same machines that we use to test for other diseases like tuberculosis and AIDS and so on, they can still be used to test for COVID-19. So I think there is a little bit of, light. Not at the end of the tunnel. I think we're still far away from the end of the tunnel, but there's light along the way. So let's hope things do get better. But as far as the schools go.
Yes, I think there was a bit of misunderstanding. The education minister, Meme Anna, she said that, based on the emergency, or in line with the state of emergency, schools would be opening on the 20th of April, and people started freaking out. Obviously, she doesn't have the authority to say schools are going to open. Everything is in line with the state of emergency, meaning if the state of emergency is carried out exactly as is right now, like no extension and everything, schools will be back to regular programming on the 20th of April. But of course, the way things are going, there might be an extension. I mean, we can expect one, I think. So obviously with that would also come an extension of the school holidays of children. Just to clarify, that's what it is. It's not a given that come 20 April, all the kids are going back, unless we are also coming back to work.
But that is way too risky for my liking, especially sending the kids back to school now. I mean, I don't know what information the Ministry of Health and that the authorities are sitting on. But if there is even a chance that the virus is somehow spreading in the community, or it has spread into the community, then especially the children who do not get as affected, who I think they are the carriers. So mostly they will infect others without getting sick themselves, infect their parents, infect friends who in turn go infect their parents. And I don't think until we are absolutely sure that we are corona-free, we should send the kids back to school. And
in all honesty, I don't think they will.
Yeah.
That's just my suspicions. Because, look, schools are breeding grounds. I mean, usually even just a flu. In a classroom, you're bound to pass it around, and as we know, kids are not, especially the younger ones, are not as aware or don't really have capacity to take care of themselves as perhaps adults would, knowingly and keeping those things in mind. Kids interact with each other, and I think for a fast-spreading virus like the coronavirus, I don't think they would take it, because if you just have 2 kids at that school that have it, the whole school can be infected within a week.
Exactly, yes.
So based on that alone, and I think understanding how COVID moves, I don't think they will have kids going back to school.
Yeah.
But also it's very, very important to start looking at ways that kids can continue getting an education, because what if this thing continues for the rest of the year, like there's no vaccine?
We might have to scrap the academic year.
Yeah, I think most likely that's probably what will happen. Like kids will have to repeat the grade globally, probably,
or somehow figure out how to integrate this year's content into next year's content.
Yeah, probably. Then they'll be doing with mine is they would have. They're scheduled to go to grade 5 next year, so they'll probably be doing grade 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be the other thing, if not to delay education by a whole year. But there's a lot of uncertainty for sure about the COVID-19, and I think that's the worst thing for anybody. It's just nobody understands where the end is, if there's an end. So it's very disruptive.
Now, of course, we are in our second week, the 10th day of the official lockdown. That is normally about at the far end of the incubation period when it ends. about 10 days, 10, 14 days. And I remember hearing stories coming out of Italy where they were saying they went into lockdown, especially for the first week, and a lot of people were not getting sick, so everybody sort of started relaxing, thinking, hey, maybe it's not so bad after all. But then a lot of those people were in incubation, and then, once people started relaxing and some people are going out again, it became another problem.
Like I said, I mean, I really hate to use Italy as an example, only because Italy is a unique makeup. I mean, first of all, you find a very small country with a large population.
Yeah.
People are literally living on top of each other. That's Italy for you. There's just no real open space for anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so that's the first thing. Secondly, is like I told you, we already discussed this in studio, the makeup, like family makeup of Italy.
Yeah, it's the second oldest population in the world next to Japan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then thirdly is how they socialize and engage. I mean, these are people that frequently go for, let's say, glasses of wine, pizza, lasagna. I'm using the obvious cuisine, but anything really.
And they are really attached to their grandparents also. Most of them
it's
live with
very,
them.
very, very family orientated,
Yes.
and like very friend orientated and unit orientated. So people are going out for meals on a regular, or seeing family on a regular, and it's just they don't really live in isolation, so to say. And then, like I said, the lifestyle. I think the lifestyle, just the habit of going out for a drink. You kind of take everything as just kind of relaxed. So that obviously was their downfall. Like I said, they thought the Chinese were very draconian in their ways. But now I think they're understanding it. But even understanding it is like they're not completely trying to change their lifestyle. That's why they have those musicals from their balcony and singing to each other. And this one's playing a guitar, the other one's playing drums, and they make music together because they are about that life, So I don't want to use Italy as an example. We're very, very different in that sense. I think every country is unique in its own sense, and it would be wise for the leaders of each country to kind of assess and study their demographic makeup.
Look, we can still learn from their mistakes, even though we are not demographically or even geographically set up like them.
We can always learn.
Yes.
We can learn from China, we can learn from Italy, we can learn from France, and everybody. But I mean, ultimately, the point is, and it's been very clear, is that we're all learning as we go along.
Yes.
And our systems won't work somewhere else, and vice versa. So it's very important to really, really understand your country and how it functions, operates, and everything, and then make those rules. Otherwise, you'll be doomed. We're not going to apply European standards to our own communities.
And then, look, I'm not even sure our economy can handle European standards. But
you already know we can't.
But some of the shortcomings or the shortfalls in their approach will can inform us on how to approach. I mean, I especially made the point of Italy because they really, really started relaxing after the first week of lockdown. Not the authorities, the citizens, because and it's also one thing that I heard. I can't remember what the doctor's name is. It's a Herero doctor during the press conference. I think over the weekend sometime. All the days are starting to merge into just one long, never-ending holiday. Yeah, but he was saying, no, if you look at other countries, the number is doubling every couple of days. But our number is moving up very slowly. Now it's it is a bit irresponsible because in most places the numbers started with 1, 3, 4. Over the period of a month. And then after that, it just started spiking. So I think it's false comfort to look at our number of active cases, which is 13, I mean, and think, no, we are probably safe, or we are probably safer than the rest of the world. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. I guess what I'm trying to say, especially to you, this is the time especially to start taking it seriously, because a lot of people, even some of whom would not be showing symptoms if they are infected, right now they are able to infect others.
Yes.
Right. So just take care of yourself and try and cover your face with something, whether it's a scarf or a bandana, especially if you're not in the medical fraternity. Just to sort of mitigate a little bit, all right? If we all go buy surgical masks, then we are going to have the issue that other people around the world are having.
We're already having that issue. It's a short.
Where we have shortages for
we're
for
starting
medical
to experience shortages, yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, unless you really, really are seeing the symptoms and you've gone for a test, I don't think you need to be covering yourself up with a surgical mask. If you have one, then by all means go ahead, but then you can use something else for the time being, just to try and mitigate. And of course, the social distancing, that is the best thing we can do to stop the virus from spreading.
Yes.
Should I read some comments? I feel like I've been talking nonstop.
Go ahead.
Yes. Puxi. Aerodynamic and Ania Zuzeme, bro. Thank you, House is also joining the show. Any updates on fish rot? The courts are closed. No visitors are allowed in prison, so I don't think there is anything happening. Maybe we can. I don't know if ACC is considered an essential service at this point in time, whether they are still working on the
Probably
investigations. Not. So, I think that is something we're going to have to put on ice for a while. Donkey Houses, any news about the fish road inmates? We are tired of this coronavirus discussions.
And you're not tired of
fish road.
Fish road.
Fish road is juicy.
So juicy.
We are also tired of the coronavirus, but we have to educate each other, guys. If we're all working together, that's the only way we can really stem it out of our community. Lupi Ndilimeke Gabas. Like airport staff, no passengers, no work. Yeah, I guess. Oh, yes, I remember when we were still having that conversation. Josie Motinga, morning, my best crew. I have been missing Maria Vaquet.
Really? Nobody misses me. I'm glad. Thank you.
Tuva's back. Don't worry. All right, she's back. Pax Tushi Marongo saying morning, guys. Also, Harriet Fish saying good morning. Javanir JJ Fanzi. Yo, morning, guys. Don J. Mwandi, Namibia is crazy. 300 tested for corona out of 2.5 million. Numbers don't lie. We are not serious. We are pretending to be serious. Okay? Ali van Beek. Morning crew. Where's Neville at? Still snoozing? Neville is only coming in tomorrow morning. Tomorrow and Thursday, I think, is the days that Maria has this week, ne?
This week is today for me.
That
Wednesday,
never
Friday.
has, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Monday. I'm still half asleep. Ali van Beek, strange. Why are these tests sent to South Africa? What is NIP doing? We are not sending tests to South Africa anymore. I think in cases where we are not sure of the result, maybe then they send it to the labs in SA. I don't know.
No. Please be clear. NIP is doing testing here locally, but we found cases where people maybe couldn't get NIP to test them because of the information they gave. So they opted to rather go to health practitioners, their doctors, who then referred them to PathCare, and PathCare sends all its results to SA, but they alert the authorities, local authorities, immediately upon when a test comes back positive. So this is why those results.
But I also remember hearing one of the officials say that sometimes you get like
inconclusive.
Yeah, inconclusive.
Yes, the inconclusive ones, but they're very rare.
That side, yeah.
I think they had 2 last time. They reported 2 inconclusives. But like I said, generally people just need to understand the difference between the PathCare and NIP. NIP is set up here locally. They test for free. PathCare, I think it's medical insurance or yourself. I don't know how it's done, but that's usually when you take that initiative, and you carry the cost as well, like even if it's negative, but it's just more for your own information. Upon if your doctor writes a letter,
a
referral, yes.
But I think they also ceased testing because I think the South African labs are also getting overwhelmed. So
of course,
they want to focus on the cases coming out of South Africa.
What a time to be PathCare, man.
Paul Songa Sikomba, good morning, crew. Since school reopens April 20th, what will happen to social distance rule? I think that is something we're going to have to take with a pinch of salt. Yes, initially it was said, I think on the 19th or the 20th, that the schools were going to open. And I think since no other directive has been given, the ministry, I guess, will operate under the assumption that schools will reopen on the 20th. But if you look at the way things are going generally, not just in Namibia, but around the world as well, I don't see a situation in which in about 2 weeks we reopen schools, unless we are looking for trouble. Asino Kambikiti Erastus 300 is too low, all right? We want to save health equipment or what? Daryl Nicholson, good morning, my brother. Welcome to the show. Happy Angel Muteka Mwifi. Why do they still send the samples to SA? All right, I think we've already been through that. Tatanawana is also joining the show this morning. Jojo Madsen, there is probably more other people out there with the virus. I mean, the way some people are behaving, there must be more the people infected out there, or there must be more people infected out there. You guys need, like, I need a thesaurus to understand what some of you guys are saying. Kanjego said, man, kids going back to schools, I really don't think it's a good idea since the cases are rising every day. All right. Angelique Gainko, seketjolanga si in the comment section gesien si. Goeiemôre, welcome to the show. Don saying, please watch Bill Gates' TED Talk from 2015. This is a biological weapon. World War III people must wake up. I actually saw the TED Talk. I think 2015 I was still with my previous employer, and we used to air the TED Talks.
I've seen that TED Talk. I mean, Bill Gates is a little bit under attack at the moment. So
I saw the conspiracy theories is like we're going rife.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying no, he must be behind it somehow, some way, somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's foresight, I guess. I mean, if you study the life of Bill Gates, I mean, who he has been since back in the day when they were starting Microsoft, this guy is like he's the true definition of a nerd, basically. Like that's what he spends. He spends his spare time reading other people's research, other people's theses and stuff like that. And with enough information, I mean, if you're smart enough, you can start connecting the dots.
Yes, I understand that, but I mean, this is somebody that has done great work, like with his trust in I mean, he's single-handedly the biggest donor for medical supplies in Africa. Single-handedly. So I think they did a lot of work in fighting polio, largely because of the donor money that came from Bill Gates. So, I mean, when you have a philanthropist at heart like us, and yes, I'm not disputing that there can always be a capitalist mentality to it, like for everything you do, there's obviously something else coming back,
so, like
that you don't always understand. I'm not saying that that's not the case with him, but like, I would be very careful to, like, just because you're suspicious of any movement, like, to criticize, because truth of the matter is we could use that donor money right now for testing kits. We really could. And we know our millionaires in this country are not stepping up. Well, with a few exceptions, like very few exceptions.
Like I got one.
Yeah, like we can count them with one hand that have, kind of stepped forward and tried to do things. But otherwise, like individual millionaires, they're not stepping up. So we could do with that billionaires' money right now. So I'd be very careful not to. The only thing I'm against is obviously turning Africa into a testing lab. We know that that's just, I know DRC said that they would allow for testing of their people, which is so weird to me, because why would you ever? But this is the Africa we live in, man.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Bill Gates, foresight landing him in trouble. But it is interesting, and it does make a lot of sense. Even then, when he was talking, it was making a lot of sense.
Yeah.
The next thing to kill like over 10 million people would not be a war, it would be more likely a virus. All right, Shaks Diofena Nyemba, Please don't talk about the extending. I want this corona thing to end already. Oh, Lord, save us. Please don't call it a Chinese thing. That is just irresponsible.
Yeah.
Philip J. Smith, Top Chef, good morning. Welcome to the Morning Mix. Good dear morning then. Okay. Again, Maria, maybe that is something from your
What is it?
from your DM that just spilled into
What?
the comments. Good dear morning. Rom's Namibia, when school closes, there were just 2 cases of the virus, but now you want to send kids to school when we have 16 cases. Kovenda Mbwale, all right? Physical distancing, not social distancing. Yes, tomato. I know nobody says tomato, but still. Joseph Eben, it's the same. No, now I'm getting into my fighting gloves came on. It's the same way you are saying coronavirus when it's actually COVID-19. Joseph Bonnie, I'm so grateful that the number of assaults has decreased these few days due to the lockdown. I wish there will be controlled alcohol in Namibia.
Newsflash, it hasn't.
Yeah.
Domestic violence cases have actually seen a spike. In South Africa, I think since lockdown they had over 85,000
Is it?
of
But
domestic-related incidences of violence.
police, what is it? The police commissioner? I'm sure I'm going to get the title wrong because I wasn't paying that much attention.
Yeah. Well,
but
you said that the crimes like robbery, house breaking in have decreased.
And they also like domestic stuff. He said that. But then then again, are all these things being reported?
Yeah, like I said, it's global. I'm not going to think Namibia is that different because even I think in France they actually realized that domestic violence cases had gone up with people now being on lockdown, that they even created safe houses for wives and children to leave the home and go to these safe houses because there was just no other way. If you're locked up with an abuser, tough.
We have to make an announcement. Okay, just hold on, Shines. I'll be with you just now. Baba said no. Tracy is saying this COVID-19 thing is there to instill fear in us. Now the attention has shifted from COVID to the 5G. There is also no scientifically proven time on how long the virus stays on a surface. They are causing a lot of confusion. But it is a new virus. It's not something that has infected human beings or that has crossed over from animals into human beings before. All right? There are actually a lot of other coronaviruses that are known to be circulating amongst the animal population that have not affected human beings yet. We don't know exactly how these things will affect the human body, just like we didn't know it with this one. So I guess everybody's learning as we go along. And that's why, especially the developed world is focusing so much on the testing, not only to know where the virus has been or who has the virus, but also to sort of figure out how the virus behaves. How if you've gotten it and you heal, does that make you immune from it, or can you still get it again? Can you get reinfected, basically? Can the antibodies or the blood of somebody who fought the virus off, can it be used to help somebody who is still trying to fight the virus off and stuff like that? These are all things that we are trying to figure out, and we just hope that sooner rather than later we will have the answers, just to cut out the confusion. Okay, hold on. Shines. This one just wanted me to play his song, so apparently we have to make an announcement. But in any case, we will be streaming live from the COVID-19 Information Center, Communication Center. What are they calling it? What time is that conference starting?
10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock. All right. So we're going to be giving you, I guess, the update from over there. And we're also going to be cutting the show short, apparently, because the team needs to get ready. And they need to go set up over there.
So, yeah, it's goodbye from us.
Yeah, goodbye from us. You guys enjoy the rest of the day. Please stay safe. Please stay home. And don't invite unnecessary people to your house. Like this partying thing must stop. Like, honestly, it just stop. Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow. Tuba is only going to be back on Wednesday. Nebel is going to be joining me in the studio tomorrow.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can of course keep getting your updates on Informanté's Facebook page or the website informante.web.na, where you can also stream Informanté Radio live throughout the day. We're out of here.
Correct.